Every man has in himself the most dangerous traitor of all. With that in mind, let's begin today's video. Before that, let me thank all of the people who watch my videos, because my channel just crossed a total of 20,000 lifetime views, and that's like a huge achievement for some small time channel like me. So thank you all for watching. So as of patch 1.06 with the introduction of light rolls, it's now possible to get out of every situation like 3-man blenders and the dragon breath attacks really quickly, much easier than before. So I actually went ahead and made a low-level light roll build, which is being showcased right now in the video. This build is at room level 40. I have no poise whatsoever, and my defenses are very low. I'm basically paper mache, but I still enjoyed the invasions because I love making builds and I love invading. So the topic of today's video is low rune level invasions. I made this build to talk about low rune level invasions and what are the disadvantages of it. So if you're new to invading and you're thinking of making a low level invasion build, don't. Just because you watch some videos and think it's fun, that you can shit on new players or something. Let me tell you what mostly happens at low rune levels. At low rune levels, your resistances are so low, you don't have any poise. So even if you stumble on a rock, you'll just get stunned. And ganks will take advantage of that. And you'll die a horrible death. And we'll talk ahead in the video about overlevel phantoms too. That's the point too. So as of the current state of the game, at patch 1.26, there is like overabundance of overlevel phantoms in the game. Most of them are around 125 and 150, and so the status effects on you will proc much faster on a low rune level build than it would on a meta level build, say at level 125. So I would advise you to not invade at lower rune levels if you're starting out as an invader, because you think it will be much easier for you, but it will be its own kind of torture. You may win some of the matches, with normal PvEers and people actually playing the game, but that would be like 1 out of 100 times, 1 out of 10 times, or like 2 out of 10 times. But if you are actually against people who know what they're doing and they have like a proper gank setup for you, you'll melt like mercury at room temperature. So I strictly advise against it to people who are actually new to invading. You'll also come across people who rune actually at bonfires and heal if they're losing, thinking they're better at the game. So say when you use a Godric's Great Rune as a host at low rune level, say at level 40, you get +5 in all stats. So basically he's 40 levels higher than you. And considering how you always invade up in Souls games, if you're invading at rune level 40, he'll be at level 50 or 60, 50 or around 55, and add +40 to that, so he'll be like 95. So you can see how much of a big advantage he has over you. Also, if you haven't already seen one of my videos, if the Phantom has too high resistances, even your 500 AR weapon power stance will do like 200 damage on L1. Even with other damage boosting rings like Spear Talisman and so on. And that's a whole other level of helplessness you're gonna feel. So invading at least at above level 60 to level 70 would be good for you, because you'll at least have some health, at least have some points in health and endurance, and you'll have some good armor defenses, and a major factor in this is you'll actually have some poise to actually go through attacks. So coming back to this topic of overlevel phantoms, there is a term in Souls games that have been here for generations called phantom downscaling. So say if you are Rune level 40 and have a +4 regular smithing stone weapon, if you have a friend who is helping you and he's at Rune level 150 or whatever with max upgraded weapons, he's trying to show you the way or guide you, which is not mostly the case nowadays in Elden, but it was in previous games. Like you get help from someone who is higher level than you to get to a level. So if you're open to co-op, you'll be open to invasions. That's an obvious fact. So at the state he is at, your Phantom is at right now, at around 150 with max weapon. If you summon him just like that, you'll one-shot the early game enemies, which would be basically a cheese, right? So the game would not be any difficult to play. So to keep up with the basic mechanics for the game, the Phantoms are downscaled, both in health, stamina, focus points, and a certain percentage of their weapon AR to match that of the host role level. But in Elden Ring, this mechanic is somewhat broken. No one has the exact numbers right now, or have found the actual code that determines this, but it's a speculation from my community that the Phantom only gets a fraction of his HP, stamina, and equip load reduced, depending on the host level. But it might work with first 3 stats like his HP, stamina, FP. Those getting reduced to a certain percentage is alright. But just getting the damage down to a fraction seems broken and cheesy. Say he has like a 700 AR on a Gugs, on a great sword, basically. He has 800 AR and it gets decreased by 40%. So that would be like 520, 530 AR for him already. 540 AR for him already. So he'll be absolutely be able to deal huge amounts of damage to enemies. And this justifies the basic mechanic of Phantom downscaling. That's the problem with patch 1.6 as of right now. They need to fix this. And until it's fixed, it's going to be this broken. There is going to be overlevel Phantoms at low rune levels, and you are going to have a very hard time getting to them. And they even don't have something that will just be punishing to the Phantoms. They don't lose runes. They'll just deal huge amounts of damage, and they're not punished for it. And the thing with And downscaling that affects status effects is broken too. Uh, so status effects are not at all downscaled with Phantom. So let me explain to you with an example. Like say say your people's favorite poison right now is doing cross naginatas. So say the Phantom is running a bleed cross nagi with say 60 RPM max uprate. It gives him around like 110 to 116 bleed. And yes, I know that bleed nagi scale with dexterity, but not with arcane. But people run cross nagis with arcane. Yes, I know. So and yes, I know the bleed nagi scale with dex and not with arcane. But right now, that's what most people run because people are dumb. It actually does insane amounts of damage even with primary damage scaling not so high. So say he was summoned by the same host at 240. He does get a damage debuff on the base damage of the Nagis, but the scaling of the weapon and the bleed does not go down. So he does like 114 bleed per hit of a single Naginata. Which at that Rune level is like too broken. I know this sounds dumb, but it actually is like this right now as of patch 1.6. And let's not forget about the defenses. So the Phantom's resistances that he gets from his stats don't get downscaled. His resistances from his armor does not get downscaled. So they receive like even less damage, especially from enemies at lower levels. And they do insane amounts of status build-ups, which is not at all downscaled. So they just made this game too cheesy. This is not a difficult game. You can just play it like you play, let's say, Witcher. Even Witcher might be more difficult than this if you actually turn on enemy scaling. So I'd like everyone to please reach out to Bandai Namco. Please reach out to them to actually fix this, to persevere the mechanical Souls games, and to what it is supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel hard to play and not too cheesy. Also, this also affects the PvP in this game too badly. So that's what I wanted to convey with this video. A huge shout out to Raver, Air and Silver Scales for pointing out my shortcomings so I could make a better video. I decided to re-edit the previous video to an invasion montage and completely create a new video with a proper explanation of what I wanted to convey. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please drop a like and subscribe and tell me in the comments that I'm shit. Peace.